I think what's important when it comes to understanding the ideology and understanding the difference between normative Islam, traditional Islam, whatever you want to refer to it as, is that it has a lot of meaning in many different areas of the context we look at things. For instance, when we say Sharia law has a very specific meaning. It is translated as law or holy law. So when you look at normative Islam, there are 4 traditional jurists. Each one of them has defined a school of jurisprudence. So each one of them is a form of Sharia. So those organizations that reject normative Islam now are reestablishing their own school of Sharia. So it's a very difficult concept to fully understand that Sharia law is not one specific set rule book, but that it has various ways of being interpreted, various ways of being applied within society. And a perfect example is the laws that are structured and organized within Iraq or Egypt are certainly not the same that you would find in, say, Turkey or Afghanistan, which obviously, if you have an Islamic country that is following Sharia law, you would think all laws would be equal. Well, that's not the case, because certainly there are many of these countries that follow various versions of the jurists. For instance, Egypt follows Shafi jurisprudence. So their laws are going to be very different from Afghanistan, which typically follows Hanafi, which they're named after the jurist. It is important to understand the ideology. It's important to understand the definitions of normative Islam or traditional Islam, because as an intel analyst, that's important in order to understand the context of what you're looking at when you're reading reports. It's important to understand potential targets or the goals of a terrorist group. It's important to understand how you can develop counterterrorism strategies, i.e. through combating recruitment, through embracing religious leaders that are affiliated with certain schools of jurisprudence versus those that are rejecting them. It's also important to understand the different groups within Salafism, because all that has a context too that is really important for the intel community in order to formulate stronger assessments, more viable assessments, to give those decision makers much better information that can lead to hopefully a more successful counterterrorism strategy. If you want to learn more about normative Islam and the ideology behind terrorist groups, you can do so through our undergraduate, master's, and doctoral programs in intelligence by visiting us online.